As a woman, it is important for you to know your blood type. In India, 5 to 10% women have a negative blood type, such as A negative, B negative, O negative, and AB negative. It's time to know more about your blood type. Consult your doctor today. A public health initiative by Bharat Serums and Vaccines Limited and Mankind Pharma Limited.
Welcome to Revsportz, and today again, as we celebrate World Health Day, we carry forward the conversation on health and health awareness. This is not a conversation that we at Revsportz, that we keep reserved only for World Health Day. It's a conversation that we have around the year, and especially at our Trailblazers Conclave, where we speak to athletes and administrators across the board, and we speak on health and health awareness. We speak to women's health issues, we speak to mental health, we speak to issues of injury, recovery and rehabilitation. And this year especially, we are associated with a very special campaign, the campaign to know your blood group. So this year again, and through the year, we have spoken to athletes of the stature of Sania Mirza, Joshna Chinappa, Anju Bobby George or Rani Rampal, and with each of these athletes we have discussed each of these issues. For instance, if you're a young person playing sport, and if you are also dealing with PCOS or PCOD, what are the, where do you go for help, or, who are the people that you access. For instance, this year during the Trailblazers Conclave, Joshna Chinappa also spoke to issues of how far as an athlete you should push your body, what is your optimum. So these are the issues we will keep talking about. So watch, Revsportz through the day and hear what each of these athletes have to tell our viewers. So stay tuned and keep watching.
Talking about your periods in public, or talking about, how do you tell your coach, or if your performance drops, how do you deal with the media? We've had athletes coming and talking about those issues here. Now, what has changed since you first started playing, and now that you have your own academy? Is there more open conversation on these issues? Do you ever, as a mentor, or do you have programs in your academy which specifically addresses, girls, adolescents? Because there's so many things happening in their body. Can we have your thoughts on that?
Yes, I think what has really changed is the fact that we can talk about it, that I think we can talk about it in a public forum. I think that, PCOD, PCOS, stuff like that has become extremely, people have knowledge about it. They don't just, when people are putting, in fact, I am running just started an initiative a couple of months ago with, called the Next Set. And it is basically, we're trying to put a fund together for the next generation. That's basically what it is. We started with tennis. We want to venture out into other sports. It's a women's only, girls only initiative. And right now the tennis camp is going on as we speak in Hyderabad, this week. And I had a couple of girls actually come up to me and speak to me about this, saying that, they've put on some weight, and, she had certain issues with PCOD, PCOS. And I feel that there's so much more awareness about it. And I think the first great step is that we're able to talk about it. I think, people talk about how women have more upsets. Like in tennis, people talk about how there are more upsets in women's tennis than there are in men. People don't know that maybe it's her first day of her cycle. I mean, it could be it. It could be her second day of her cycle. It could be anything. And there are so many hormonal fluctuations that do happen in a woman's life at every stage of her life, starting from her teenage years to going into, in her 40s and her 50s. There's constant fluctuations, there's constant changes that she's adapting to, which is unfathomable actually if you go into the science and look at it. So it's incredible that women still go out there and put their bodies on the line no matter what. They are feeling internally, no matter what is happening hormonally, and no matter what is happening, externally as well because of those hormones. Women are still out there competing and giving their best, and I think that's why it is very important to talk about the fact that it's very normal. it's very normal to feel this way. It's very normal to get help. It's very normal to talk about it, and it's very normal to try to go out there and find the best solution for yourself.
As you said, Mirabai Chanu came fourth in Olympics, and she came out. She, of course, was crying, and the Indian media jumped and was asking what happened. She openly said, it's my third day of menstruation, and when I'm going for that, clean and jerk, it's not
easy.
Yeah, it's not easy. It's becoming very difficult.
I also faced many times. Anju is jumping 1 centimeter well short of her bust. The reason will be something else.
Yes.
It's not like I am not putting my full effort. But those days it was not like allowed to open up.
Yes, so true. But also that is where someone, as you said, say the women athletes will feel safer to come to you, to talk to you about it.
Yes.
Is
Yesterday, I hosted a national level jumps competition. It was a selection trial for Commonwealth and Asian Games, and my academy athlete, she got gold. But we were expecting something else from her, and the fifth jump she was not able to take up from the board. And I asked what's the reason. She came to me and said, "Ma'am, I am expecting my So then I know I can understand what she is going through.
Yeah.
So that's it.
Yes, so true. How do you cater to the whole sports science element, especially say for the women athletes? Say you probably have to do blood tests, recovery, fitness. So how is the whole process?
It's a difficult thing to handle and deal with, because it's not like just go do training and come back. See, we coach and our administration have to take care of a lot of things, because many athletes are there in the testing pool. So whenever they go from one place to another, we have to inform them. That's coach's responsibility. Otherwise, athlete will be out from the field. And sometimes the pressure from the family also we have to deal. And other training issues, their injuries, lot of things we have to deal.
Do you think sports science has complicated things a bit, or just made it simpler? Because everything
is very complicated. It's not that easy. See, when I was back then, when I used to talk about sports science, people used to tell like Anju is talking about the drugs. Yeah, she want to take drugs. That's why she is talking about sports science.
Quite possible, yeah.
Anju was the common sense understanding about sports science. But nowadays, it's not just avoiding injuries, treating injuries, taking care of the mental health, taking care of the performance, and coaches support. So it's a big area, vast area, and we need to invest more. And sports science is again technical support for the athletes, because many countries are doing research and they are changing the techniques in athletics, in long jump. Every year they are changing techniques. We don't know.
Right.
We are just thinking, okay, go do jump. That's not.
Right.
Running techniques, jumping technique, every year they are doing. And equipment also they are changing. The spikes, they are finding new things. And when we get to know about that, by then they will take the medal and go.
आपको क्या लगता है कि कहाँ पे हम ये छूट रहे हैं ग्रासरूट्स लेवल से, कि जो खिलाड़ी बचपन से खेल रहे हैं उनका अवेयरनेस कम है, जो कोच आ रहे हैं उनको ग्रासरूट लेवल पे ट्रेन करने के लिए उनका अवेयरनेस की कमी है, कौन सी मसल कैसे फंक्शन करता है, एथलीट्स का इंजरी कैसे होता है, ये आपको क्या लगता है?
एक्चुअली आपने एक सही क्वेश्चन किया है कि ग्रास रूट और हमारे कोचेस को, हमारे पेरेंट्स को इसको एजुकेट करना है कि अगर वो नहीं होंगे तो हम अपने एथलीट, अपने बच्चों को हम बताएंगे क्या। तो जब बॉर्न होते हैं तो 1 ईयर में हमारी दादी माँ और ये लोग मसाज अपने बच्चे को करते थे। उसके बाद में जब वो लास्ट स्टेज में आता है तब उसको दवाइयाँ काम नहीं करती, तब 100 साल के बाद में फिर उसको धीरे धीरे हल्का हल्का कुछ ऑयल वॉयल लगाते हैं। तो ये फर्स्ट 1 साल में और लास्ट में 100 ईयर में जो भी जीता है तब लास्ट में ये चलता है, क्योंकि दवा काम नहीं कर रही होती है और ये सब कुछ मतलब वर्क नहीं कर रहा होता, तो ये हल्का फुल्का क्या मालूम इससे भी कुछ दिन जी जाए या बच्चा स्ट्रांग हो जाए, इसके बीच में उसको ऐसे छोड़ देते हैं।
Whole sports science part, has recently come in. I'm not 100% sure when you started playing, how much were you aware of this sports science, and how much did you have that at your disposal? Like, for example, the psychologists, the nutritionists, did you have them, or when did you realize it?
I would say growing up when you're 15, 16, I didn't have it as much. Also, like financially, it was a lot harder for someone like me to have those things, because for me, just about going to a tournament was great. And of course, only later on when, you know, when I first started winning a medal for the country, like when I was probably 21, 22, is when we actually got some little bit of support from the state government. And but when I was 22, 23, I realized how important it was to have a really good team around you, a good coach, a good psychologist, nutrition, and all that's, you know, costing money, like, you know, and I was lucky that a lot of the people that worked with me initially did it for nothing. And when I did get into a position where I could pay them comfortably is when they actually took money from me. Wow. So I'm very thankful that there were people who believed in me before I could really prove myself to them. But it does make such a difference, because even till today, I still have that team. And I know that as an athlete, like, you are going to be challenged constantly with so many different things, you know, injuries, a lull period, losses. And it's so important to have a really good team around you. And that's what I've always invested in, is you can't do this alone. You need people around you to help you through a lot of things in life. And yeah, and I've just been really fortunate that I've had that team. And but in terms of sports science, of course, I had access to it a lot more a little later on in my career, probably not as a junior so much. And it does play a huge role. Like, you do need those inputs coming in. You know, you got to strategize, you got to see your opponents, how they're playing, you got to look at your own heart rate, your own, how you are operating in training, in a match. All those things are very, very important to take you to that next level and keep you at that level.
काफ़ी सारे यंग एथलीट्स भी होते हैं कि उनका वो अच्छे शुरू करते हैं, फिर इंजरीज हो जाता है, उनका उतना शायद अवेयरनेस नहीं होता कि उनका क्या इंजरी हुआ है, ब्लड ग्रुप क्या है, कैसे रिकवर होगा. तो बहुत सारे ये होता है. तो अभी इंडिया में ये अवेयरनेस कितना बढ़ रहा है, तो आपको या क्या लगता है जूनियर लेवल से?
बिल्कुल, इंजरी स्पोर्ट का एक पार्ट है. एंड जब आप किसी भी एथलीट को इंजरी होती है तो वो उसके लिए बहुत डिफिकल्ट फेस रहता है लाइफ का ना, क्योंकि कोई भी एथलीट साइलेंट पे नहीं बैठना चाहता, हर कोई खेलना चाहता है. बट जब आप साइलेंट पे होते हो ना, तो आप स्पोर्ट्स के अलावा लाइफ में बहुत चीज़ें सीखते हो. पेशेंस आपका बहुत डेवलप होता है. आप करना चाहते हो बट आप नहीं कर सकते, क्योंकि आपको डॉक्टर ने एक प्रोग्राम, फिजियो ने एक रिहेबिलिटेशन प्रोग्राम दिया, आपको वो फॉलो करना ही है. पेशेंस आपको बहुत कुछ सिखाता है लाइफ में ना. सेकेंडली, टू बी हम्बल. जब आप साइलेंट पे होते हो, आप कैसे हम्बल हो जाते हो, बिकॉज आपको पता है जो काम आप जिससे आप बहुत प्यार करते हो आप अभी नहीं कर सकते. तो ऐसे बहुत सारे स्किल्स हैं जो आप साइलेंट में रह के सीखते हो. लेकिन अवेयरनेस बहुत ज़रूरी है. इसलिए बोलते हैं कि एथलीट्स में सिर्फ हमें ये नहीं पता होना चाहिए कि हमें 2 घंटे ट्रेनिंग करनी है, लेकिन 2 घंटे ट्रेनिंग करने के बाद रेस्ट ऑफ जो 22 आवर्स है वो हम क्या कर रहे हैं उसके बारे में पता होना बहुत ज़रूरी है. क्योंकि वो इम्पोर्टेंट है, वो 2 घंटे अच्छे से ट्रेनिंग करने के लिए. अगर वो 22 आवर्स वी आर नॉट टेकिंग केयर, देन वो 2 घंटे में हम वो रिजल्ट प्रोड्यूस नहीं कर सकते. अगर हमें 8 घंटे की स्लीप चाहिए तो हमें चाहिए. उसके लिए अवेयर होना, प्लेयर से बात करना जो जिनके पास ऑलरेडी काफ़ी एक्सपीरियंस है. इसलिए बोलते हैं हमें रोल मॉडल्स बहुत ज़रूरी हैं टीम्स में भी ना, जो अपने काम से इंस्पायर करें आपको ना, ताकि यंगर प्लेयर्स लुक अप टू यू कि एथलीट हमेशा टाइम से सोता है, उसकी प्लेट में क्या डेली वो खा रहा है. सो वी नीड रोल मॉडल्स जिनको हम अच्छे से फॉलो कर सकें.
As a woman, it is important for you to know your blood type. In India, 5 to 10% women have a negative blood type, such as A negative, B negative, O negative, and AB negative. It's time to know more about your blood type. Consult your doctor today. A public health initiative by Bharat Serums and Vaccines Limited and Mankind Pharma Limited.